new details today on who's speaking to the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection. According to the committee chairman, Congressman Benny Thompson, it's one of Trump's biggest defenders, former U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr.
To be honest with you, we've had conversations with the former Attorney General already. We've talked to Department of Defense individuals. We are concerned that our military was part of this big lie on promoting that the election was false. So if you're using the military to potentially seize voting machines, even though it's a discussion, the public needs to know.
All right, joining me right now, former federal prosecutor Michael Zeldin and host of the podcast That Said with Michael Zeldin. Always good to see you, Michael. So what do you make of what the congressman is saying publicly, that Barr has actually spoken to, is speaking to the committee?
Well, it doesn't actually surprise me that Attorney General Barr would be speaking to the committee. I know there's been a lot of talk about the Barr being the president's lawyer and in his pocket and all that stuff, but Barr has a strong conservative vein in him, and I think that the use of the military in a domestic matter, probably in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act, which prohibits the military from being used in this capacity, would have offended his sense of propriety, and I don't think he would be unhappy to talk to the committee about that.
All right, so you just helped establish that is unlawful. It's against the law to try and use the U.S. military for civilian, to enforce a civilian kind of policy or use them as civilian law enforcement. So if that's the case, and there are eyewitnesses, and you have this draft executive order, what more evidence is needed?
Well, what was the plan to implement the order is what's unknown. Who, besides Sidney Powell and Michael Flynn, are behind this? Who in the military, if anybody, was willing to execute this order? So we need to know at a very granular level who was involved, what it involved, and how it was going to be deemed lawful by the Justice Department or the White House counsel's office before that executive order was signed. So we've got a lot of unknowns.
Is it your feeling that of those 700 plus pages, those documents released by the National Archives, that the answers are in that in terms of who may have been a party to conspiring to use the U.S. military in this sense?
Well, we'll have names. We'll know names like Giuliani and Michael Flynn and Sidney Powell. What we won't know is what were they saying, and that's why we have these subpoenas. The committee has these subpoenas out to all of those people to say, fine, we see your names connected with this document, and we want to know who was speaking to whom about it, what was said, what was your plan. So they know contact, but they don't know context yet.
Can you give us the distinction then between how important it will be for the committee to speak with people versus actually subpoenaing them?
Right. Well, you can get a person's testimony voluntarily or by subpoena. If they refuse to voluntarily cooperate, then subpoena is the next route. These folks are going to be very reluctant witnesses. They're going to assert all sorts of privileges, most of which probably are not availing, but to delay the process. So I think in cases like this, and in really most complex financial crimes and federal cases, you have documents, but you really need individual live testimony to illuminate what those paper documents say. So I think they need this testimony, and they should get it. And if they can't get it, they should move for contempt against these stonewalling prospective witnesses.
All right. Michael Zeldin, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Fred.